I'm going to walk you through how to set up your A3 assignment from scratch. Specifically, I'm going to be using Mac in this case. So we'll cover everything from creating the project directory to setting up the back end and front end. Finally, the entire application. So by the end of this video, you'll have an idea on how to use your code from previous assignments and set up the front end aspect of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating the backend folder and importing the Java-based Maven project. That in my case, this will be the blackjack game. And then we'll also kind of show where Spring Boot is used to handle backend functionality. After that, we'll proceed to create the front end and copy the existing code from the previous videos, and then we'll demonstrate how it works. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new folder from scratch completely, and I'm gonna just call this like A3 assignment. Um, I'm assuming this is how you guys are gonna probably start off as well. Okay, so within this folder itself, we were gonna want to make another folder, and we can just name it backend, and then we'll also include another folder called front end. Okay, so this is going to be kind of like step one on how to set up the base aspect of your project. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to start off with the backend aspect. So we're going to go inside this folder, and we're just going to bring the code that you guys made from the previous assignment for just like the base functionality of the game. So for example, I'm just going to take the code that I have. So for example, this will be like a blackjack backend game. So I'm just going to copy this Maven project, and I'll just paste it in the backend folder. So for you guys, you'll just wherever your game is stored. For example, like you can say assignment one and like the game, and then you'll just bring it into this folder as in so. And then within this folder, as you can see, my pom.xml file there, my source and my target files and everything is here. So we'll just bring that into the backend like so and leave it as is. Okay, so that's perfect. While we're here, actually, we'll also actually, you know what? We'll get to the front end after. So after we have this done, we're gonna want to open up IntelliJ. Um, yeah, okay, and then we're just gonna go File, and we're gonna click Open. And I know it's already loaded, but I'll just show you every step. We'll go to Desktop, we'll go to A3, and we'll load this project like so. And then as you can see right here, it says Maven build script found. I just want to load that project so that I'll end up loading in that backend project. So as you can see here, I know it'll load correctly because this application ends up being an executable, which is exactly what we want. And as you can see, this is just a simple functionality of the blackjack game itself, but you'll see a lot of like tags into of Spring Boot application itself. So I added this throughout the game, or sorry, throughout my game, and you can kind of see a few of these stuff being called. Like so, and these are actually what indicates the back end functionality in order to gather the information. So once again, you'll have my code in the GitHub. You can kind of get an idea of how these things are set up, so you can implement that within your Java code itself in order to grab the backend information as needed. So this is nice. This is a way kind of how we can set up our backend code. And for in your guys' case, all you'll have to do is bring in the game that you guys already made, and then you'll have to add in the Spring Boot functionality. So I would suggest maybe like looking at some like tutorials or like quick guidelines of how like Spring Boot works and how you can get stuff working. If not, you can always take a look at my code and get an idea of like how it's being used. Okay, so that's good. So we set up the backend aspect of it. So also what we're gonna show you is how we're gonna run it. So I'm gonna open up a terminal, and I'm gonna go into the backend. So we're gonna be in the backend aspect of the game, and I'm gonna go into blackjack. So this has all of our files. So what we want to do here is we want to ensure that actually Maven is installed, and like in most of the cases, if you're able to like load the project, you should have it. And also, as you can see right here, I have it gives me the Maven option. I think most of you should not have the worry at this point in the course. You guys should already have this set up. But just to double check, I'm gonna type in maven.version, and it shows that I have it. So another thing to make sure that your Maven project is working and there's no issues, you can do Maven clean install as in so. And it'll also do your tests as well. This is just to ensure everything looks good in your project. But in order to actually get the backend running with Spring Boot and kind of keep that running to keep it running so that we can call it, we want to call the following command. We want to say maven spring dash boot and then :run, like so. Okay, and then this should start the backend aspect of it, and then we'll just leave this running as so. So as you can see right here, the little plus icon, we want to do that in order to open another terminal. Make sure you do not close your other terminal. Okay, so now we can start working on the front end aspect of stuff. So this is where all the new things are most of the new things are gonna be done for this assignment for you guys. So you want to go back into your front end directory, and we're gonna want to type in. Oh, sorry. Another thing I should have mentioned is you want to install Node. So on Mac, if you have Brew, you can type in brew install Node. And Windows, I think it's a different method, but I'm sure you guys can probably search it up and find out how to install Node. I know like for Comp 2406, which I believe most of you probably already took, that was probably like one of the first things you guys learned how to do. So we'll just skip this step. And then what we want to do is we want to actually set up the node.js projects. So we need to set up the node.js project for the front end by this command. So we're going to type in npm init-y as in so. And this actually, if we go look, we'll close this, the front end, it creates your package.json file, which is good. And then this will just be set with its default settings. So let's close this and just take a look. So these are just like default stuff. Now what we'll end up doing is we're going to install the dependencies. So this is to interact with the backend and perform the Selenium testing itself. So we want to do npm install Axios Selenium dash WebDriver and then Chrome driver. Once again, remember to try to use Chrome when you're doing this as well. Okay, perfect. And then as you can see, it kind of installs all your dependencies here. So that's good. So now we can start adding some of the front end aspect of it. So I'm not going to go deep into the code because the whole point of this video is kind of to give you guys an idea of how to set it up. You can always refer my code if you guys need an idea of what I did. So we can go back to here and go into the front end like so. And then I'm just going to go from my previous project. And what I'm going to do is, oh, no, not back end, front end, we're going to click on. And I'm going to start off by importing the base front end stuff of it. So that would be the index.html. The script, oh, sorry. So index.script.js and style.js. Just gonna copy this and then I'm gonna add that into the, oh, sorry, where did it, I think that brought that. Okay, let's just do that. Just I'm going to double check that brought it in the. wait, we want to move these. I don't know why it's copying it in this. Let me just cut and then paste in here. Refactor, sure. Sorry, I don't know why it's copying. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so now we have our index.html, my our script.js, and our style.css. So this is just the same code as before from the GitHub. I just brought that over. Once again, if you guys are making your game, you can use this as reference in order how you want to set up stuff. For example, once again, this is my hit button, my stand button, and these are just kind of ways how things are set up for the game. So after we get the game running, we'll focus on the testing aspect of stuff. So after we're in our new tab, we can just make sure it's there. Yeah, we can type in npx http server, and this will actually start the front end of it. And then we can actually just click on this link like so, and then we can start the game. Let's stand and okay, so player wins, the dealer ended up busting, so that's perfect. Okay, so we'll leave that as is. The game looks like it's working accordingly. Now we can open finally another terminal. We want to make sure we leave that running because it's important to have the back end and front end running. And then now we'll set up the test aspect of it. Because when we set up the test, we want to make sure the game is up and running so that we can do tests up on the game. So what we'll do is we'll just add a file. Actually, here we'll go back. And what we can do is here's our test.js. I'll just copy this as well and paste it here. I don't know why it pastes outside of the directory. It's very odd, but see if I can move this in here. Oh, not there. Move that inside of front end. Yes, refactor. Okay, perfect. So now we have our test set up here. So I'll show you guys kind of my test. This time I added a few, actually no, in this case, like I didn't add anything, but what we can do is to just add some delays. We'll just add like a 2-second delay like so, just so we can get a better idea. And then what we can do is we can write node, let's go to our CD front end, and then we can type in node test.js like so. And then this should open up the game, and then it should test everything else itself. And there you go. And then it gives us kind of a little bit of our background information. So I hope this was helpful enough to kind of set up everything. I think a lot of you guys are going to probably focus more on how to set up the back end with Spring Boot. So this is kind of how I organize my file. Once again, you can use my code as a reference to kind of get an idea of how to set things up. And then most of your stuff you'll be adding is probably within your test.js file. And then my script, my index.html is just the front end aspect of it, of making it look pretty. It's up to you how you guys want to make your front end look. I don't think that's the main focus of this assignment, but that's pretty much it to get you guys set up. And I hope this helped you guys out a little bit. And best of luck with assignment 3. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye bye.